or suicide, you should not take it lightly. Or the child begins to engage in reckless behavior, drives recklessly, takes drinks, take all those things he knows can end his life quickly. Or your child begins to give away things that he loves. Maybe he has a shirt or a shoe that he will never allow anybody to touch before, and begins to dash out his or her things. You should not take it lightly. Now, we want to talk about the parental connection, because one of the reasons for suicide is faulty parent-teen relationship. And when I'm talking about teenagers, I want us to take the age bracket back to, because let me tell you, children who are 10, who are 9, we just can't include them among teenagers. Like my sister said, they know more than you think. They know more than you think. You know teenagers' languages. You don't know. Many of us, we are too busy. When they text, they are texting and they write 9. They write 9 means parents in the room. 99 means parents has left. IWSN means I want sex now. You will see when I went to hold a program for the teenagers in one of our churches in US, you know, American children. When I told them some of the codes, they were hailing because they didn't know I would know. They were wondering. Many of this, if you see GNOC, say get naked before the camera. So they will now go naked and take selfie and post it to their boyfriend. Many things. Those codes are plenty. We don't even know that there are codes. So when you see them and you look at their text message, you just say, my child is a good child. Does not do any of this rubbish. Who told you? You can only know when you get close to them. It's not by checking their phones. They have gone a step ahead. They know what to put that you will not be able to decode. So, the child, my child. I know the child I have. You don't know that child. You do not know that child. Now, parental connection. Most suicide notes have implicated parents. Why are parents important in the life of a child? Remember, Psalm 127 verse 3 says, "Lo, children are the heritage of the Lord." What does that tell us? These children, they do not belong to you. They do not belong to me. They are God's property. We are only caretakers. And just like if you have a house, you assign a caretaker to take care of your house. The caretaker must give you reports as the landlord. One day, we are going to give accounts to God. What we have done in the lives of these children. That's why, unlike other animals, when they have their young ones, and after 2 weeks, they are free to be moving about. An average child stays in a home for 20 years. A child stays averagely for 20 years. It's so that we can train them in the knowledge of God. And Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it." Training is not only reading Bible. Training is living by example. A trainer is different from a teacher. If I say, do what I'm doing, follow me, I'm a trainer. It's different from just telling you things you should do. Then secondly, train up a child in the way he should go. The way he should go can be defined as according to their uniqueness. Why will you force a child to do a course he doesn't want to do? Why will you push a child to do a career, to go after a career he or she is not interested in? I think we parents have problems. Don't you think so? You don't agree? We have plenty of problems. The truth is that, let me tell you the truth. Everybody has his or her own strength. I lecture in the medical school. And I know how many students have counseled whose parents have pushed them to come and do medicine. And in fact, somebody posted something on our platform. We are writing exams. Our students are writing exams. I don't know whether the student had finished the exam, but I would like to see his score. He now drew one beautiful artistic work on his answer sheet. And then they were circulating it on the college platform. And they said, maybe we should counsel this student to go for arts. Because I've counseled many of them. I wanted to read law. At that time, they shut down the law school. You must be a lawyer. What about the parents? You can't be a lawyer. Yeah, I wanted to be a doctor. I was thinking of being a doctor. We must have one doctor in this family, and it must be you. Why can't it be the mommy? Yes, now. University education, there is no age limit. We have students who are very mature students. They've had degrees, everything. I have a professor who has retired now. He had read pharmacy. He was already practicing, had a car, had everything before he just decided he wanted to read medicine. And he went to pick JAMB form. JAMB form is still on sale. You want to read medicine? It's not too late. We will admit you. That is true. You want to read law? It's not too late. The law faculty is there in Unilag. You can enter. Please don't force these children. I have a story here. Not a story. When we had this program in TOD, we told the teenagers to write some of their experiences. A teenager wrote this, and I think I should read it. I'm the only daughter of a very successful accountant. My father desires that I take over his audit firm in the future. So the pressure is always on me to be not only brilliant, good, of good moral standing, but to also be an accountant. I was made to register for subjects relating to accounts, which are not my preferences. My dad is ever boasting to his numerous friends and family members of how I will be a great accountant. This issue is I never like numbers or figures. I try to tell daddy, but he never wants to hear. I told my mother, and she said that I am an ingrate. That how many of my friends have the same opportunity like me. My grades in school are falling, and everyone thinks that I am a spoiled child. Daddy changed my lesson teachers severally, changed my school. I was even changed to a boarding school. Everyone looks at me suspiciously as Olodo. I am spoiled brat. I am frustrated, as no one understands or listens to me. I met a guy who is into photography, and I started taking interest in photography as well. I initially wanted to do mass comm, but now I'm so scared of even bringing it up with my parents. I feel like walking away or even ending it so that I can be free from the pressure, free totally. This was written by a teenager in Tabernacle of David. And so many of our children are like that. So many of our children are like that. Please, let them be. Let them be. And please, as we go along, if you have questions, just so that we can save time, just take a piece of paper and write your questions. There are pieces of paper being circulated so that immediately after, we can go into the Q&A. Yes, this was a child that wrote this. And the parents think they are doing the child a favor. Bible says, train them in the way they should go. Some children are in competitive relationship. Daddy or mommy has married another wife or husband, and they are lonely, they are neglected. These are some faulty parent-child relationship. Some, we have living parents, parentless children. The parents are alive. The ones Yorubas we call Okwaye. You know, Okworun, the dead, is the one that has died and you are buried. The Okwaye is the one that is alive, but is like being dead. And any of us can fall into that category. It does not matter whether you spend billions on your children. We cannot use money to buy their love. That's what we do not realize. Relationship, talking to your children. That's why I tell people who have young children, allow them to talk. When they come back from school and they are babbling, don't shut them up. Let them talk to you. Don't be like a woman who went for a program like this and they were encouraged to begin to talk to their children, and she got home and called the 4 teenagers. Oh yeah, start talking. And of course, they were looking at her like this. And she now called the lady that ministered by and said, I have called them, they are not talking, no. And that one told her, they have not been talking for 16, 17, 18 years. Is it one day they will talk? You have to win their confidence back gradually. Unreachable parents, there are some of the other things. The children cannot even reach their parents. They are at a crossroad. They need counsel. That was that 13-year-old, that girl that wrote a suicide note to her mom. He said, I'm hurting. I have nobody to talk to. You people are too busy for me. Then children failing to meet up with extraordinary achievements. Because, like the story I read, because daddy is a successful accountant, you put pressure on your children. You must not only be an accountant, but a successful one. And the children are under pressure. Unrealistic demands and expectations. Then, like I said, parents trying to achieve their personal ambitions through their children. Please, I beg you, if your ambition is to be an accountant, you can pick a JAMB form. It is allowed. Or you can go and register for ICANN, the lessons, and go and do it. Don't live your dreams through your children. I've always said it. If you tell me it is Yoruba major you want to read, as long as it is your choice. Recently, they circulated a circular in Unilag. Some funding bodies in US, they were looking for lecturers who were versatile in Yoruba language. They will pay them dollars. You think Yoruba is useless? Why should you read Yoruba? Are you the one reading it? Leave the children alone. Like I was telling them, when we were, the last time I said, when we were in secondary school, in boarding house, those of us that were doing physics, chemistry, biology, when you are coming from prep, you carry Abbott like this, carry Lambert like this, and be bouncing. And everybody will be looking at you. These people know book, if you came back, these people know book, you too, you'll be feeling like, yes, a hero. Then those ones that were doing home economics say, I want your love there. That was what they used to call them then. Who are the people making money now? Modeling, photography, all these things. I don't regret studying what I did because it was my choice. But what I'm saying is that only God knows what a child will do and have his or her breakthrough. Don't force any child. Leave them. Let them follow their uniqueness. The way two children cannot be the same because one is very brilliant. And don't worry, being brilliant is different from being intelligent. Do you know it? Do you know that? My students, I have some students, when exams are coming, they will upload and download for me. They will upload all the notes because they have photo, their brain, they can capture easily. Then when exams are coming, they will sit and download. After exams, come and ask some of them. They cannot remember. They are brilliant. But being intelligent means being able to reason. You understand? So if you have a child who is intelligent, but is not too academically inclined, there are many things the child can excel in. Find out what the child is good at and back him or her up to be the best. And that child will never forget you. So let's learn that. So what are God's expectations from us as we are rounding off quickly? We are caretakers. Let's remember that. Every child is important to God. And let me say, not only your biological child, every child that God allows to pass through your hands, whether it is a house help, whether it is a relation, you will account for that child though. Because Jesus said in Matthew 18:10, he said, if you cause any of these ones to stumble, it would have been better if a millstone. The way some of us treat house helps, your children who are going somewhere, you can, no matter how much you love your children, you cannot be following them all about. They will go into the world. They will meet other people. The mercy and goodness you show other people's children, your children will reap it wherever they go. But we forget that because today we are privileged. You have money. You can send your children abroad. They can go for summer every month. A poor child who was born the same way you gave birth to your child, comes to live under your roof. You don't feed her, you overwork her, simply because at that time you have power in your hands. Who knows where your children are going tomorrow? Who knows what that child will become tomorrow? Let us be careful. We are going to account for every child that lives under. I saw a lady last week where we ministered. Her story was pathetic. She was given out as a house help very early in life. She went through hell. She said she was waking up 1 a.m. She will walk. She will first of all go and sell something. She will go and pick children from school. She said they will not give her food. And when they will give her food, all the leftover that the children have eaten, the woman will pack everything together and give her. And she's thinking that one day, her own children will not reap what she has sown. So let's be careful. Accept every child. Even if you did not plan for that child. There is no legitimate child though. There are only illegitimate parents. No child is illegitimate. When we get home, let's go and read the story of Jephthah in Judges chapter 11. Just go home, read it. It's a full chapter. Jephthah was born by a harlot. The man had his wife and children at home and now went after a harlot. And they now gave birth to Jephthah. Whose fault was it? Was it Jephthah's fault? After a while, the children of the house threw him out. They said, you will not inherit anything in our father's house. So he became an area father, not even an area boy, an area father. He became a gang leader. Then when the Philistines were troubling them and they needed somebody to fight, it was only an area father that could fight. They went to beg him and he gave them condition. He said, but you threw me out of my father's house. You don't know what that child will become. We have counseled children who have been maltreated by their parents. A boy came to me when we were holding in my former province, when we are holding these parents' things. He said, Ma, I'm in a cult. I said, why? He said, I've never experienced parental love. He said, every day, my mother will tell me to my face that I hate you. Because as I see you, you remind me of your father. You know, they had issues. He said, Ma, can you imagine hearing that every day? My confidence was destroyed. My self-esteem was, and I got to the campus. I saw some guys who welcomed me and said, we love you the way you are. And I joined them. So when you are talking about cultism and trace it back to the home. So he said that was why he joined the cults. But that he was ready to leave. He was tired. So accept every child. Every child is a gift from God. Whether you planned the pregnancy, whether they raped you. Remember this comedian, Helen Paul. Helen Paul just backed her PhD from Unilag. And she said something that touched me. She said she does not know her father. That she was a victim of rape. And she was a product of rape. They raped her mother. And the mother kept the pregnancy, gave birth to her. See what she has made with her life. No child, even if you didn't plan that pregnancy, accept that child. But we don't have a relationship with these children. There was a day I received a phone call. Somebody said, Ma, call this number quickly. This girl says she's going to commit suicide. So I quickly called the number. She was schooling somewhere in the West, maybe a polytechnic. I never met her. I said, what is the problem? She said, Ma, we are 3 friends in the church, teens church, and we vowed to God that we will marry as virgins. I was in the class reading for exams when some hoodlums came in the night and raped all of us. And I just discovered I was pregnant. I didn't see my period. I didn't even know I was pregnant because she was a virgin. She just said she didn't see her period. Then I said, so what happened? Why can't you talk to your mother? I said, that I even took the phone. I psyched my mother up. I said, Mommy, do you know what happened in my school? One of my friends was raped. The mommy said, I hope you are not the one, no. If you are the one, I will just kill you. So that angle was closed. I said, what about your daddy? He said, he's not much better. He said, it's only one auntie that I have. But the day I offend her, she will tell everybody. She had nobody to talk to. I said, don't you have female lecturers? He said, most of my lecturers are male. I said, okay, just be coming to Lagos. Don't do anything to the pregnancy. Me, I will go and see your parents. She came to Lagos, obviously she had aborted it. She said, Mommy, what will I do? I said, come. She said, I just had to. It was a pathetic case, just because there is no parental connection. So, rounding off now, be relevant in your children's lives. Be their friends. Be accessible to them. Very, very important. Be accessible to them. Don't be like the girl whose parents, 3 daughters, left them with her own brother, a 19-year-old boy, to be taking care of them. Meanwhile, husband and wife, they don't live, it's like they don't live in Nigeria. They're always traveling all over the world. Then what happened? Of course, the boy one day raped the 7-year-old girl. 7-year-old. And the girl was saying, she cried. She said, I know what I will do when my mommy comes back. When everybody is greeting her, I will frown my face. Because I frown my face, she will want to ask me what happened. Then I will tell her. And that was exactly what she did when the mother came. The mother said, useless girl. Me, I've gone to look for money. And you cannot even welcome me with a smile, and gave her a dirty slap. The girl ran to her room and cried. Of course, who went to comfort her? The uncle. That was her. He started regular sex. Yet, once in a while, the parents would be upstairs in their room. They would be downstairs. She said by the time she was 12 years old and the uncle left the house, she was let loose. She could no longer do without sex. By the time the mother saw her when she was 19, one day one man came to drop her. The mother said, what are you doing with men? I want you to marry as a virgin. No. She said she felt like slapping the mother, that you are very early. By the time she was writing that story, this is a true story, she said she knew she was dying. She had HIV. She had so many medical issues. And the parents didn't even know. As she was writing that story, she was dying. The mother was not even aware. And they were living in the same house. So, finally, because my time is up, how do you connect with a depressed child? When you see that a child is depressed, normally because there has not been a relationship, the child may not want to open up. But you need to seek help for that child. Don't just leave the child and say, you will get over it. That child may never get over it. Never overlook their feelings. Now, as parents or adults, studies have shown that parents who are depressed, they eventually pass the depression to their children. Because when a father does not have money in the pocket and he does not know how to manage it well, you know the children are in trouble. Their mommy will tell them, I'm warning you, stay away from your daddy now. You will get the beating of your life. So, likewise, depression due to so many other reasons. As an adult, you must love yourself first. And I know that seated here are people from our experiences in other centers who are tired. And please let me say this, that at the end of this service, everything, there is opportunity for counseling. If you want to come and see us, we are available. I know there are people who are tired. There are people who have given up. There are people who feel that, like the example of the brother I gave you last week, there is no way out. I want to let you know that this God we are serving can change your story. It does not matter what is going on in the world. The Bible says, when men says there is a casting down, what will you say? There is a lifting up. But it takes those who know their God. I didn't say those who come to church on Sundays. I didn't say those who come for every service. I didn't say those who were born in Christian homes. I said those who know their God. You want to survive this season. You want to live above this situation. You need to know the God that you serve. The truth, like I said earlier, things will never get better. If you think a time will come when one loaf of bread will be 1 naira, or you think a time will come when you can just drive out like we used to when we were young, they can say they are taking you to Federal Palace to go and have a drink at 10 o'clock. The roads were free, the roads were clear, the roads were safe. Not any longer. If you think that time will come, it's not true. The truth is that until Jesus returns, there can never be peace in the world again. Until Jesus returns to take his own people, his own children, there can never be peace. If you run to America, you run to Belgium, the same. You run to UK, worse. There can never be peace again. But those that do know their God, they shall be strong and they shall do exploit. Let's stand.